It is my pleasure to join the room and those in Zoom land and guests from South Africa. I don't know what time it is, but thanks for coming. Give me a moment as I prepare for the presentation. In case anybody doesn't know what this is a bucket. Yes, a bucket. This one happens, oh yeah, I thought this was the pickle bucket, but no, this turns out to be the bucket list bucket. Now it's become fashionable for people to have their bucket list. That's the repository for ideas and goals that we want to achieve before death. Think that one through. We want to achieve an experience before death. Wow, isn't that interesting? This morning, I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about bucket for the mind. Yes, there is a bucket for the mind. A number of years ago, my wife suggested to me that somebody was dipping in her bucket. I didn't know what that meant. I really did have an idea, but all of us have this bucket that we put things in and take things out of. The problem is, the challenge is that there are always people dipping in your bucket. They're taking things out and they're leaving the effect, the residue of negativity. And unfortunately, we don't do enough to put it back in because it has an effect. Now, as we age, that's the easy one to do, but as we go through life, we have a tendency to narrow our perspective. I would call them blinders. And we also tend to get down on ourselves. I call that life. And it's up to us to recharge that. Now, how do you do that? I'm going to be a better person. Yeah, I know that one. But in most cases, we can develop an organized plan. And it starts with optimism. I'm going to think better thoughts. That doesn't work so well. I need something simple. Let me give you an example. We're in a drought. We need rain. Maybe we'll have rain this afternoon, maybe we won't. But it's bad. But on the other hand, we've had some glorious sunny days. This isn't too bad. If optimism has to be inspected on a short-term basis, it's rain. Now, how about the next thing? Mike talks on end about his 8 kids and 14 grandchildren and 22 great-grandchildren. But the bottom line is family is family. And you can lean on your family to put stuff in your anyway. Now, goals. Let's develop some short-term goals. Not going to the moon, not going to Mars, not going to Disneyland, but maybe talking to somebody today and doing a thankless task. That's a goal. Everybody can accomplish it, and it's short term. Let's reconnect with a friend. And I don't mean email. I don't mean text. Let's call him. Let's go visit him. Let's revisit what there was in your friendship. We're getting down to the important stuff. Mike would say, healthy living. Let's eat, sleep, exercise. Don't drink. Oh, no, that's. Anyway, let's change our habits and let's start this afternoon. Maybe at noon we have a salad or some tofu or something like that. Let's be active. Let's be involved in activities. You know, Toastmasters is a classic example of that. Social groups don't seem to be doing well these days because they've lost their relevance. Everybody here gave of their time this morning to be here. And they did that because they understood that it was going to make a difference. They didn't know what, but it would make a difference of some type. And last but not least, the last thing, doesn't mean there aren't others, is let's be lucky. There's no substitute for luck. Now, you can win the lottery, but that may be a curse. It may actually turn out to be a curse, because most lottery people will tell you after they've experienced the euphoria, the rest of it is just plain bad news. I feel like I won the lottery of life. Wow. Wow. Now, how does it work? You've recharged your bucket. This is the effect it has. When you have positive, reinforced, recharged your mind's bucket, guess what happens? Your head starts looking up here. You start looking around the cloud. Wow, you know, there's light out here. I didn't know that. Your blinders now, instead of going like this, they go like this. And everything is different. Everything is exciting. Everything is stimulating. Now, those have been some of the rules for recharging your bucket. I suggest one other. Everybody knows what this little devil is. It's not just a smartphone or a flip phone. It represents our connectivity to life. Now, one of the problems is when that little buzzer dings, all of a sudden, your nose goes to it. It rings because it must be important. It's not that important. I suggest and submit to you that your last plan for that mind's bucket is you turn the cell phone off metaphorically. You make sure that it's in its right spectrum. And then everything will be fine. Mr. Toastmaster.